Welcome to the Thought Leader Recruitment podcast, where we explore the evolving world of talent acquisition. I'm your host, Sam Bylett, and today I'm joined by Jonathan Johnson, Director of Auxato. Jonathan, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me, Sam.
You're very welcome. So, let's start off. What led you to the recruitment industry, and what inspired you to start the company?
Yeah, so it's quite a story.
Okay.
Well, graduated uni in 2011, and strangely, no one was, well, if you remember 2011, it was just after the financial crash and companies were still hurting quite a lot. And strangely, there wasn't actually that many jobs other than recruitment jobs, which is quite weird. Ironic that they were the only ones who were hiring. But my wife actually got into it first. I didn't know anything about it, didn't even know it existed as an industry. She did it for a couple months, and I thought, oh, that sounds great. I should go and do that. But we made a decision that we shouldn't be in the same company. We thought it was better. Yeah. We thought it was better to keep our work and personal life. I went and found various other went and interviewed for various other companies. Ultimately, what ended up happening was I ended up working for 3 different companies in the space of 3.5 years. So I was actually a bit of a job hopper, unfortunately. But I think it's because ultimately what I really wanted was actually to be kind of doing it my way. Don't want to sound arrogant or anything, but I just thought, I wanted to do recruitment, give people the best possible service that you possibly can, rather than just mass firing CVs and that kind of thing. So in June 2015, I set up my own company, and as I said to you before the podcast, it will be 10 years this June. But that's essentially it. I just wanted to be delivering the best possible service that I could to my clients, and I felt the only way to really do that would be to be on my own.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's the mission behind Auxato, and what makes your approach to recruitment different?
Well, I know that everybody loves a clickbait. This is why we're different.
Yeah.
I don't have any sort of, it's not rocket science. There's no sort of magic sauce there. It is just do what you say you're going to do. It's really as simple as that. If you put people forward. Yeah, exactly. If you're really struggling on a role and you genuinely can't find anybody, tell the client. Don't be like, yeah, we'll get you more people, and then like 3 weeks go by and not not send them anybody. So no, I wouldn't say, maybe not doing myself a service, but I wouldn't say there's anything unique about what we do. I'm sure there are other recruitment companies out there who are who are good as well, but it does seem to be that unfortunately they're in the minority, because I seem to speak to so many people on a daily basis who say, oh, wow, you got back to me, or I've never worked with somebody who's gone to this much effort, and you're just like, this is just standard.
It's how it should be, but a lot of companies, they don't do it. So
exactly that.
So if you could go back from when you first started, what advice would you give yourself?
I actually find that to be one of the toughest questions, because what's the challenges that I've gone through to get here, would I be where I am now if my future self had told me to do something else? This is quite cliche. I would have just told that younger Jonathan to work harder.
Yeah.
I feel like, so I'm in a position now, I love being busy, absolutely love being busy, but I'm in a position now where, touch wood, because we've done such a good job over the last 10 years, I don't actually do much business development at all. Stuff just comes to me organically from recommendations, which is brilliant. And, I don't take that for granted or anything. I really, hopefully that will continue. But that earlier Jonathan, who didn't have that, he didn't want to sit there smashing the phone all day every day to try and get stuff in, and I just wish I could go back to 2015 and say, look, hammer the phone harder, stop sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah, that's great. That's great advice. And who are your typical clients, and then what's their biggest hiring challenges they face today?
So our clients are a whole mixture. So it's just marketing that we recruit, but as you know, every business hires marketing. It doesn't matter whether you're a small little corner shop or a global global enterprise. Odds are there'll be somebody doing marketing for them. Um, they yeah they they really do vary. We've got clients who are FTSE 100 businesses. We've got clients who are 10 to 20 members of staff. What's their biggest challenges?
Challenges, yeah.
I mean, interestingly, at the moment, it seems to be actually getting people to stay. I know I mentioned jokingly that I was a bit of a job hopper. That was the reason. The reason that I said that is because it seems like just a huge number of people, especially these days, and people who've just come out of uni now, seem to change jobs like every year.
Yeah.
So what's kind of happened is, yeah, you've just got no commitment from anybody.
Yeah, so yeah, client retention's a bit of an issue there. I think there's a lot of a lot of the shiny object syndrome gets flown about quite a lot nowadays, isn't there? There's a lot of opportunities out there. They see this one job, they think, well, that looks good, and then something else comes along and they hop to that one, and yeah, it's an issue at the moment.
Yeah, it really is. And yeah, I mean, I actually had a client the other day say to me, so it was for a head of marketing role, and she was like, "Only send me people who've been with their current employer for at least 5 years."
Yeah,
And I was like, "That is going to massively narrow down the talent pool." However, that was fine, and we were able to find people. But yeah, I thought that really is a sign of just how much people are job hopping. That's actually a
yeah.
request from a client.
How has the client acquisition changed in the marketing and PR recruitment space?
So yeah, I don't want to sound really, really boring, but it's another. I don't think it has actually changed that much. But the
Really?
one major, well, for me anyway, the one
Right.
major difference that I have seen is go back 10 years and we used to have really, really good success with email marketing campaigns. And now I don't seem to get much back off them at all. Constantly checking to see if my email is going to spam or what is it? Have the spam filters got better? But we don't really have any luck off those. Actually, we're having to do more of, or rather, we had to do more of the cliche kind of just cold calling, just hammering the phone.
Yeah, yeah, it is an issue that the spam filters. I have some problems with myself sometimes. As Outlook are a bit of a bugger for spam filters, as I
Uh,
am finding out. But yeah, I think with email marketing, it's all about the messaging, isn't it? Really, and connecting with the right people. But yeah, it's a difficult one, and yeah, I know. Going back 10 years, a lot of people had more success with it. But yeah, I think it's just changing your changing your messaging and changing the perception of it. Really, I think it's been quite difficult lately. But yeah, we'll see how that goes
well,
if it
yeah.
continues.
Well, I'm a real like sort of stats guy. So what I used to find was with every it was a 10% model. With every 100 emails you'd send, so this is going back 10 years. So with every 100 emails you'd send, you'd get 10 responses, but of those 100, one of them would actually be
Okay.
interested. Yeah, and it would
Yeah,
be equivalent to maybe not a really hot lead, but a good lead. And now it doesn't seem to matter how many thousands of people we've emailed, just don't really get anything. And when I'm talking about this, I'm talking a cold email marketing campaign. I'm not, if we emailed all of our clients, there's a whole different story. They probably 90% of them would respond. But yeah, I'm talking about brand new outreach.
yeah, yeah. I get it. And how's technology transforming recruitment? What changes have you seen in how companies hire in marketing and PR?
The major difference was really just that the changes in LinkedIn is all I've really seen. So it's actually really weird to think. So I was thinking about this the other day when I first started in recruitment in 2011. LinkedIn did exist, but not really. It was nothing like what it is today. You had not even 50% of our clients would have been on LinkedIn back in 2011, and now it would be weird. It would actually be weird if somebody was not on LinkedIn. From the talent acquisition side, how things have changed. Clients are more and more well. They seem to go through a phase where they thought it would be quite easy to replace external recruiters with paying for LinkedIn recruiter themselves. Then I think ultimately, that works for some roles maybe, but when you're recruiting sort of very specialist positions like we do, it really isn't that simple. Yeah, with whenever whenever a new technology comes out, a lot of people seem to think this will easily replace recruitment agencies, and the reality is it never does. And if anything, the recruiters end up just maximizing the new technology and
Yeah,
making the most out of it.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think LinkedIn is so powerful now. To what it used to be a few years ago, especially using like Sales Navigator and tools like that. You can really kind of speak to who you want to speak to pretty easy now, I think. And it's become more of a, I think it's become more of a social platform as well, hasn't it? For business people, well, it's really got massive in the last, I'd say, year, something like that.
It's,
It's
it's huge. The only thing with LinkedIn is it is a double-edged sword because they've got a complete monopoly now. I think maybe there's a recruiter out there who doesn't use LinkedIn, but I doubt it. Because they've got that complete monopoly, they can then just charge whatever they like, and they seem to put their fees up way more than inflation every single year. So with the growth of LinkedIn, you've got the other challenge of they now have, they now pretty much have all the power.
yeah, they can pretty much charge what they want, and
Pretty much.
people now rely on it so much, especially recruitment companies, that they'll pay it.
It's mad to think that I ever got by without the top license. Can't even imagine. I can't even imagine kind of doing my job without it now.
No, no, unless someone creates something similar. Is there something similar? I don't know. I don't think there is there?
The only competitor that they have globally is called Xing, Xing, and they have a monopoly in Germany, while LinkedIn have the monopoly everywhere else in the world. But the thing is, even a lot of people in Germany will also have LinkedIn. More people have Xing, but yeah. And I think Xing's quite big in Switzerland and maybe sort of that Benelux region. But yeah, the reality is a lot of those people who are on Xing are also on LinkedIn.
Yeah, they have both.
Yeah,
Makes
no,
sense.
I don't see any sort of major competitors to LinkedIn taking off. Yeah, it'd be like someone trying to set up a new Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. Are companies fully embracing AI-powered hiring tools, or is there still some hesitation, would you say?
The thing is, the big ones have always been using, versions of it. Obviously, it keeps improving more and more. So clients that, particularly the big companies, they've always had these filters where whenever you fill out a job application with them, through their online portal, it will screen out, I don't know, the number, let's say half of the candidates because they didn't have a certain keyword or phrase or something like that in their CV. Whereas like if I were putting the candidate forward, I'm just putting them directly forward I'm skipping the portals and going straight to the hiring manager. So, it kind of skips that screening stage. But so what I found is, yes, there are constantly more and more tools that keep coming out, but I don't, from my perspective, I haven't actually seen any dramatic changes. And it's sorry if, we need something clickbaity for the name of this, Sam, but I haven't got anything. It's
No.
business. Business has been pretty. Yes, there have been sort of subtle changes, but even in the last 10 years, I haven't seen any, or 15 years rather, I haven't seen any sort of revolutionary changes.
Interesting. That's very
Yeah.
interesting. And do you think automation is improving or complicating the recruitment process? Do you use much automation?
Yeah, I've used automation before. That is just as good as the input that you put into it in the first place. You can do. I think you can do really really well with automation as long as you come up with a really really thought through strategy in the first place. But I think a lot of people just kind of half-ass it, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, what interested in your opinion on like CVs? So traditional resumes are becoming obsolete almost with the rise of AI driven skills and assessments. What's your views on the CV nowadays? Yeah.
And I seem to have. I should really sit down and do the exact stats, but I do notice. I do notice clients seem to come back to me much quicker and much more favourably on a one-pager CV than they do on anything longer than that. And actually, I was thinking of this more from the perspective of attention spans of people.
Yeah.
With things like TikTok and stuff, people's attention span has completely diminished over the last 10 years. They feel they've only got so much time to read a CV. Yeah, you mentioned with the rise in AI, do you mean like kind of people using CV
Yeah, like AI
generators?
written CVs, obviously, I mean, you can. I think now people are kind of cutting on to what is AI written, what is not. But yeah, I mean, someone could get AI to write a CV pretty well, and people wouldn't know it's AI written, and that can cause issues, really, can't it?
So I don't know of any clients who are, although actually maybe some software does this, but I don't know of any clients who are specifically running CVs through AI generators. But as so because we recruit PR and marketing roles, almost always as part of the interview process, as well as the interviews themselves, they'll have to do some kind of written assessment. All of these written assessments are now going through AI checkers. There was a guy, it's actually not somebody that I put forward, someone that I'm aware of, did one of these the other day, and it came back 90% of his written assessment was written by AI.
Oh, really?
And then there's, interestingly, I know another guy, this is a guy who I did actually put forward, and his assessment was put through an AI checker. And funnily enough, he had used AI, but he'd used it very, very cleverly, and his only came up 30% was used by AI. So yeah, I imagine with the bigger companies, to kind of go back to your initial question, with the bigger companies who have these, when they're doing a big application process and they're using a big software, I wouldn't be surprised if they've all got AI checkers on the CVs that are coming in.
So you've got AI checkers checking AI written CVs.
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
Right, okay. That's just madness. I mean, yeah,
it
the
wouldn't
AI
surprise me one
checker.
bit.
Yeah. So is there a threshold there that they're allowed, or is it has to be 100%?
Well, they were fine with the fact that it only came up 30%. Actually, that didn't bother
Okay.
them because, funnily enough, even if you write something from complete scratch and you haven't used AI, it depends what AI checker you use, but a lot of them will still come back at a certain percent. Like it might be 10% used AI when actually, you didn't use AI at all. So because there is always going to be a level of inaccuracy with these with these AI checkers themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And what about the kind of interview process? Is that changing due to AI driven candidate assessments?
Yeah. So what? Funnily enough, it's actually changing back to what it was. Let's go pre-lockdowns. So we're in 2019. It was completely normal for the interview process to all of the stages to be face to face. It was very well. You might do a phone call, but it was very you wouldn't do a Zoom or anything like that. And then what happened was those tests that I'm talking about, the assessments that they do, they would always be done in the office. They might provide them with a laptop while they're there, but they would 100% of those tests would be done in the office. And then what's gone and happened is everybody started working from home and interviews are being done virtually. So they're then also conducting the assessments virtually. So they're saying, right, you have 1 hour to complete this. So we're going to email you at this time. You then have to complete the assessment within 1 hour, get it back to us within that time. And now, because of the rise of AI, this is going back to being in office, in person interviews.
Okay.
Yeah, so the assessments are now, they're now asking, right, okay, for this stage you can't do this virtually anymore. You're going to have to come in. You can use, you can use their own company laptop or whatever, or it's going to be handwritten. But yeah, they're starting to do those face to face again.
What's next then for Oxerto? Is it its own plans or future goals?
It's genuinely to just keep doing what we've always done. Yeah, I can't say we've got any exciting plans to conquer the world. It's just the three. It's actually just the three of us here. Yeah, no plans to really kind of take the world by storm.
Keep doing what you're doing, and that's good. It's good enough, really, isn't it? So, final question is, if you could give one piece of advice to companies looking to hire better marketing and PR talent, what would it be?
Well, obviously, call me.
Cool. Yeah, that would be
No,
yeah.
but no. I think actually going back to some of the earlier points, look for people who've had longevity and good tenure in each of their roles. That is genuinely worth it is worth a lot actually. I mean, the thing is, I wouldn't say, I wouldn't absolutely do not disregard people who have hopped a lot, because there's over the last few years there's been all sorts of turbulence. There's been lots of redundancies. It might have been a fixed term contract that the person did. So don't be put off calling somebody, but really, really do grill them on why they left each of their roles, and don't stop at one. Don't stop at the last role that they were in. Go back through it. Right? Why did you leave there? Why did you leave there? I find you get a much, much clearer picture of somebody when you go back through why they left every single role.
Yeah, absolutely. Great advice. Thanks for that today. Connect with you. Is it on LinkedIn? What's your website?
Yeah, so the website is Oxato or Oxato, depending on how you want to pronounce it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's auxato.com. And I mean, you can email me directly if you want, which is j.johnson@oxato.com. And yeah, LinkedIn, my handle is just linkedin.com/in/Jonathan Johnson Oxato. So just my name and the company name.
Perfect. Brilliant. Thanks today. Really appreciate it. And this has been the Thought Leader Recruit podcast, and I'll catch you next time.
Cool. Thanks so much.